Whenever I go to Tonga, bro, my dad like shows me off to everybody. Everywhere we go, it's like, oh, that's my son, the weightlifter. Yeah, he got an Olympics.
Son, come and lift this up. Show them.
I was just like, shut up, you don't even know how to speak English. Relax. She used to always tell me as a kid, if you're going to do something, do it to the best of your abilities. I wasn't going to waste my opportunity. I'm too blessed. I'm too blessed to be coming here and thinking like, no, I'm good. I'm better than all of these. I don't got time for that. Yeah. I'm here to experience my hard work. When I won Commonwealth Games, everybody wanted to claim me. Went into Pacific Games in 2019, I lost a bump. New Zealand would say, oh, Tongan lifter David, and the Tongans would go, nah, Kiwi lifter David. Whereas like 2018, they were like, New Zealand was like, nah, Kiwi lifter.
Wow,
the Tongans were like, nah, Tongan lifter, yeah. Media will do what media does to benefit them.
What do you want to be known for in terms of your career, but also as a person?
Mandate.
Welcome to Mandate, where we navigate fresh perspectives and nothing is off the table. Tonight's guest is from Tāmaki Makaurau, born and raised in New Zealand, obviously Aotearoa, New Zealand, but also was raised up in Otahuhu in the hood, South Okilani. But the man is a special talent, amazing talent, because the man is one of the finest, one of our finest in Aotearoa, New Zealand weightlifters. And so he's represented Aotearoa, New Zealand at the Commonwealth Games. You've seen him at the Pacific Games, you've seen him at the Commonwealth Championships, you've seen him at the Oceania Championships. The man has won it all, from gold, silver and bronze. But in 2018, something happened because he catapulted his career in terms of where he is right now. And so he won gold in 2018 and lifting a total of 403 kgs. And so the man is an amazing talent, but also is going to be representing Aotearoa, New Zealand at the Olympics in Paris, in France. But also the man was a recipient of the David Dixon Award for Sportsmanship. And so please put your hands together for the one and only, the Tokuua, David Liti!
That was a nice intro.
Ooh, hey, Toko, man. So glad you're here. So it's an absolute privilege and an honor. Every guest that comes on, and you likewise. And so, Toko, just to set the ball rolling, Toko, because the Olympics is what you said, I think 15 weeks away.
Yep.
15 weeks away. And so, how is the prep? And but also, what kind of mindset are you taking to this Olympics in Paris?
Preparation's going good. Thinking about like our qualification period is 18 months long. So I started my qualification for the 2024 Olympics in 2021. No, does that make any sense? 2022. So at the end of 2022, we had a competition in Colombia. And we had to do at least 5 different competitions that was approved by the International Weightlifting Federation. And so we went to Colombia, Cuba, Saudi Arabia, Solomon Islands. We did one here in New Zealand, and I did an extra one, my final one in Thailand. So 18 months long, super glad it's over. And I'm happy because I finished this qualification period doing lifting a lot more than I did in the last qualification going into Japan 2020. And I'm stoked, and going into Paris in the middle of the year, late July. My mindset for this whole thing is like, I'm so blessed to be where I am. I've been talking to a few people, and I've been telling them like the thing that keeps coming back to me is like, I'm honored and I'm so blessed to be able to have something that I can give my heart to, that I can work so hard for, and dedicate time and everything to this one thing, and for it to be an Olympics, the pinnacle of a lot of athletes. I don't know. It's just a massive feeling of gratitude and feeling like I'm blessed to be where I am, because at the end of the journey, it's what is it can I give back to my people? So I want to be here at the level of like the best of the best, and so when I come back home, it's like I know what to do. How can I give that out to my people? So yeah, I'm just
awesome,
massive blessings. Yeah,
man, awesome, Toko. And you are free from on the onset when you walked in, Toko. Very humble, very approachable. And it sounds like you're very, very grounded, Togo, very grounded. And so you must have a real good background in terms of your obviously your parents and your family and your kainga. And so Togo, maybe if we just touch a little bit on some of as to why you're kind of like who you are in terms of this day and age.
I guess the whole reason of me being who I am is it comes down to my mum. You know, she's always she's one of those mums who's always like, you better do this right, you better do that right, you know. Every time we'd come back from school, like me and my brother, she'll always come and go, oh, come here, Uma. And then when we kiss her, she'll like give a little sniff to see if we've been smoking or like drinking. You know, especially if we're coming home late, like it would say we'll come from rugby training or something. She'll always come and like, you know, give that little cheeky sniff, like, oh, you've been smoking, you've been drinking. We're like, no, mum, shut up. But yeah, like her just being on top of what our attitudes are like, kind of defined who I am today, you know. She used to always tell me as a kid, like, if you're going to do something, do it to the best of your abilities. And she was always super patient. Like, if we weren't doing something the way she wanted it done, she'll just like tell us calmly, do it again. And if we don't do it again, do it again until it's done, you know. She never used to shout at us and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, just watching the type of person that she is, like, if we given her like a present, you know, she'd rather receive the present and give it to somebody else who needs it than for her to keep it to herself. You know, just stuff like that, like little things that I've picked up as a kid. I don't know. It made me feel good, so I just thought, oh, if I start acting like her, then maybe I could make other people feel good to be around myself or their selves as well.
Yeah, I know, Togo. I know. It's just, it is, I think, a lot of our success, a lot of people think, kind of always attested to either the family or to their parents, and you kind of look very similar in terms of mom and obviously you and dad and your siblings. But in terms of weightlifting, because you mentioned rugby, and was rugby something that you aspired? Because sometimes people think, oh, as Islanders and as Māori and Kiwis, we aspire to play rugby because it's just a natural thing. We play rugby. And All Blacks is something, okay, people aspire to be. Tell us a little bit, because I know you played rugby as well.
Yeah. So coming from Tonga, rugby was foreign to me. Like, the only rugby I knew was like when my dad should change the channel and force us to sit in front of the TV and watch rugby. But yeah, no, like in Tonga, I grew up in a very Christian family. So everything was brand new to me. When I came to New Zealand, I didn't know that people could be whatever they wanted to be, you know. And so when I started playing rugby, I was like, oh, this is fun. And started to realize that this is what people like to do. This is what the boys want to get into. So when I got into high school, I was like, oh, maybe I should just try rugby, you know, play for fun. Because I used to only play at like lunchtime rugby, you know, and managed to get myself into an Auckland team, the under-16s, and yeah, at the same time I was juggling between that and weightlifting as well. So rugby didn't get me too far, like in my opinion, but it was fun while it lasted. Got to come across some great names that are playing professionally now. But I don't regret any of the decisions that I've made, and I'm here today, so it can't be that bad.
Yeah, hard Togo, man. Hard man.
Doc, you mentioned like you're really blessed to be in this position now, and you're grateful for it. But your journey probably wasn't easy in terms of your love for the sport. I've probably heard you on another interview where it's like you didn't even like it. Nah. Are you able to explain how that realization, like weightlifting was there, did you end up finding that you're good at it, and how did you change your mindset to like, okay, if I'm good at this but I hate it, how do you change that mindset to end up loving it?
I don't think there's a trick to it, because once you're set on something, it's kind of set, you know. But yeah, when I did start weightlifting, it wasn't as enjoyable as rugby. As the time went on, like I ended up showing up to the gym like on my own, you know, because in rugby, when you show up, there's a bunch of us, there's 20, 30 of us, you know, playing. It's with your boys, it's all fun and games. And so when it came to weightlifting, it was like, oh, it's just me at the gym today, you know. Oh, I'm doing more squats today, you know.
Yeah.
Doing more snatches, more clean and jerks, and it's like repetitive, like everything, every day, the same thing. But the realization came from like, oh, I've made a New Zealand team this, you know, at the period that I was at that time, but I was only playing for Auckland, you know. So I was thinking maybe I should just give weightlifting a go, because I'm at a different level in weightlifting, and maybe I am good at weightlifting, but I wouldn't know if I didn't give it a shot, you know. Finished off high school, came back from Tonga in 2015, and I just kind of thought, I mean, let's be honest, I don't like studying. Why would I just go back sitting in class listening to somebody trying to teach me something? And rugby, I haven't got that far in it. Policeman, because that's what I wanted to be. I wanted to be a police. Honestly, like the thing that turned me away from being a police was that you had to study, you had to have a qualification to go into police. So I was like, I don't want to go back to school. So I just thought, I'll give weightlifting a go. And yeah, man, like maybe 2-3 years later, I was number 1 in the list in New Zealand. So it's crazy, because I never really thought about that kind of stuff. But even at the peak of my career at the time, I hated the sport, you know, because I had to show up by myself every day. And the turning point was like, I made it a, what would you call it? Oh man,
Like a goal.
what would, like a habit. I made it a habit that like at a certain time of the day I was walking to the bus stop, I was catching the bus to go to the gym, and I was training. Every day was like that. Every day was like that. It's a repeat. And I just found like, oh, I'm at the gym again. I didn't even, you know. And over time, it just like, I was thinking, man, I'm working so hard. I'm like beating everybody, but there's nothing here for me. Like nothing's happening. And it wasn't until I went to my first Worlds in 2016 where like I ended up coming 4th in the clean and jerks. I ended up 11th in the snatch, 4th in the clean and jerk, and then 9th overall. And I was thinking, man, maybe this is like for me, like I get to compete against the best in the world. I've been doing this seriously for probably like a year and a bit, and you know, just missing out on the medal. And I kind of realized like, oh, maybe it is starting to pay off. I just needed to be a little bit more patient, you know, be a little bit more patient. At the end of the 2016, the whole year I've been number 1 in New Zealand. First ever junior to break a lot of the records and put a lot of the history down on paper. And yeah, and I was thinking, man, maybe it's gonna come. Just be a little bit more patient. 2017 comes around. Not the greatest year for me. Still a good enough year. And then 2018 comes around, and I win the Commonwealth Games. And I was like, man, I finished the competition, caught the bus back. It was literally the last bus. It was 12 p.m. Got back into into our hotel, and I went in and I sat in the shower for a whole hour just crying. Yeah, and I was just thinking like, God, like, this is crazy. 2017 was not the greatest year for me, and I never saw the light at the end of the tunnel. All of a sudden, this is what you give me? Like, what is this? You know, what are you trying to tell me? And I just sat there and I just cried and I cried. And then after like all of that happened, I came back to my room and I changed and stuff, and I just lied down and I just realized like I was never alone. God gave me all those challenges so I can be better, so I can come and be ready for when I do win. You know, all these years I've trained hard, all these years I've showed up and nobody else wanted to show up, and this is what I get. I deserve it. It's for me. You know, ever since then, bro, I'll never look back.
Wow.
Yeah. Never looked back.
So cool. Incredible.
Yeah.
That's incredible, David. That's honestly just you sharing that story is like, my goodness, because you were very young. You were 21 when you won that in 2018.
Yeah,
but it just shows that the mental fortitude of you as a person, because it takes a lot of mental toughness to go show up to the gym. That's
what I mean, though. Like watching what my mom was like, it prepared me for a lot of my life. Yeah. So I was just lucky enough, like blessed, that I knew what it was, and I understood what I was like, and I understood what people was like. And so when I got the chance to understand that, like, you just need to be a little bit more patient, I took advantage of it. Yeah. And my whole life changed after 2018.
Jeez, because, and you're right. I think when you say patience, that's the key word, because a lot of people think, nah, you gotta go now. No, just don't wait, and that's the kind of like the slogan nowadays. Then you just go for it. Just if you seize the day, which is all good. But in your case, it was like just be patient. The time's coming, and the time came. And for you just to win that as young as you were at that time, that's incredible. And you said that you had a previous year was a bad year for you, and you come back in 2018, bounce back, and you're the Commonwealth champion. Win gold. I was like, my goodness. And so, how was it? I wasn't
even, talked about medaling. I went in and every report was David was coming fourth or fifth. So.
And so you wouldn't even talk. They wouldn't even talk putting you in terms of the medals.
No, not even weightlifting New Zealand put me up there.
Wow. So was it what kind of like was it one of the motivating?
Nah. Was it for me? Nah. For me, it was like. I wasn't gonna waste my opportunity. I'm too blessed. I'm too blessed to be coming here and thinking like, nah, I'm good. I'm better than all of these. I don't got time for that. I'm here to experience, my hard work. I'm gonna come to enjoy all of it. So when I went in, the night before I was talking with a friend, and she just kind of told me, you have to remember, you need to have fun with it. And I was like, oh man, I totally forgot about that.
Jeez.
So when I wake up the next morning, my whole mindset was different. Yeah.
And then you can imagine the New Zealand public, oh, we always knew David was gonna win the gold medal.
Well, that's crazy. Like once, when I won Commonwealth Games, everybody wanted to claim me.
Oh.
Went into Pacific Games in 2019, I lost, I bombed. So me and the Samoan guy, we both bombed, and the guy that was picked for third ended up winning. Every media outlet released me. Like New Zealand would say, oh, Tongan lifter David, and the Tongans would go, nah, Kiwi lifter David. Whereas like 2018, they were like, New Zealand was like, nah, Kiwi lifter.
Wow,
the Tongans were like, nah, Tongan lifter, yeah. As soon as I bombed in 2019, it was like, nah, you guys keep him.
Bro, that's not cool, man.
Massive like learning for me as well. Like just knowing media will do what media does to benefit them,
Good on you, man.
So
you see, another good mindset again, man. Hard hell.
You talk about that morning of the Commonwealth, like you had that chat with your friend, and then you wake up the next morning, you're like, okay, today's different. What were you thinking that day, and what was your attitude like?
Like when I got up, was that whole thing like, bro, stop stressing. You're blessed to be here. Like not many people get the chance to come here, rub shoulder with the best of the best, no matter what sport it is, And you come here and your forte is lifting the heaviest weight, And so I was just really, really excited to go out there, because I knew the guy that was ranked number 1. He was my good friend from Samoa. and I was already ranked number 4. At the same time, like, yeah, I wanted to prove something, but that wasn't the goal. You know, like I was telling myself, like, enjoy being here. No matter the result, you're blessed. You know, you got the opportunity. Now it's just time for you to go out there and put on a show. So I was happy. I went in there. I just had my music in. I was just nodding my head, singing, and it distracted a whole bunch of the other athletes. You know, they had no idea what the hell was going on. Because it's a serious thing, going into the back room and weightlifting, and I'm out here like.
You're listening to your music.
I'm singing.
What were you singing? What were you listening to?
Yeah, you said 2 songs, but they never mentioned it. What was the 2 songs?
The 2 songs was number 1. I kept them on repeat. Was "Money Trees" by Kendrick Lamar, and the other one was what's that song? What's the song?
I'm a Barbie girl. Was it?
It was another. The Recipe by Kendrick Lamar as well.
Oh man,
because my thinking was like, if I can keep my energy in the same level with the same song, it's better than like listening to music and be like, oh, I don't like that song. That'll change my energy straight away. You know, keep it on repeat. Just sing it. Even if you don't know the words, make it up. No one else is listening. Make it up. You know, distract them. It doesn't matter. And just having fun. Yeah.
Bro, and you come out, describe for us, because you go out there, you're lifting 403 kgs and you do it. But describe in your mindset when you're holding the bar, what was going through your mind? Was there anything going through your mind at the time?
Like with the snatches, I was thinking, man, if I can get like a kilo or 2 just behind these guys, bro, I'm gonna smoke them. You know, that was my mindset. And when it happened, I was like, oh, I'm surprised. Like, they didn't lift the numbers that they were saying they were gonna do. And then I was like, okay, we'll see how this goes. And it comes in clean jerks, and I didn't even know what the numbers were. I just told my coach, you do your job, I'll do mine. Yeah, she put it up to 229 now. Here's me thinking, oh, it must be like 227 or something. I don't know.
Jeez.
We're not there, and I just remember gripping onto the bar, and I was like, jeez, it's going to be a good lift. And I just went for it. Yeah. The rest is history.
And you smashed it, man.
Yeah.
Maybe that was the case that, just in terms of, because you were at the back, David, you was playing your music, they probably looking at you, what is this guy up to?
Yeah.
Kind of put them off their game. Like, oh man, what's this guy? He's got something different. And so you lift it up. Was that when when you drop it? Is that when you kind of blew the?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. So my like blowing the chalk thing is blowing your kisses and not your opportunities. Yeah. So whenever I get to like do like a big number or do like a PB or something, I like to blow the kiss. Yeah.
Because I saw that girl over there when you blew there was a girl there.
This guy's trying to break up a happy
There was a few of them. I couldn't pick, so it was like everywhere.
You're doing a Conrad.
See, this guy Conrad, reckons, no, I was blow kissing to my mum. Your mum's in Tonga. They don't have the TV there. Live podcast. Oh my. Live where? Connie. It's funny, man.
Oh, can't wait till that guy comes home. Hopefully we can get him on.
Yeah, man.
What was I going to say? Before that, sorry, because like before you get into this repetition of turning up to the gym and, you know, just working out, and how did you know that you were good at the sport? Like, was there someone always in your ear saying, give this a try, you're good at this? Or
like,
was weightlifting an outlet for you, or just to give up time?
So like the thing with weightlifting was, it was one of my boys at school. One of his boys used to do it. So he came and he was like, oh, boys, geez, that us. We'll go do weightlifting. So we were like, yo,
Didn't enjoy the training.
I think she just wanted me to get into something to keep me out of the streets, you know? A big reason why she sent me over to Montreal College. And my coach used to always just tell me like all these different things, like, you know, you come training and we'll always welcome you here. And one time she said to me, do you want to be just another number running around the field, or do you want to be a world-class weightlifter? And I was like, nah, that's different. Yeah. So I kept that in my mind, and after 2013, in that nationals competition that qualified me for my first international, Oceanias in 2014. And it was a traveling trip. And I was like, I want to travel when I get out of school. And they're like, we're going to New Caledonia. And I was like, man, I never heard of this place before. They're like, it's run by French people and this and this and that. And I was like, that's gangster. So I was like, I'll put rugby on the side, and I'll try train for this. So maybe every month for 5 months, I'll probably train like 2 or 3 times. And I tried to make it to training, but I just couldn't like turn away from rugby because it was where the boys was. It was where the fun was for me. And so when I went into the Oceanias, I was surprised. Like, I got silver, you know. Like, went in there, I didn't even think I was gonna win anything. I was like, I'm just this kid from New Zealand that just started. There's no way I'm getting on that podium. And like when they told me, it's like, no, you got silver, and I was like, maybe like this is working for me. I don't even know. And so at the end of the year, I decided to go to Tonga after school, and I remember telling my coach Tina, I was like, I'm just going for a week. Bro, like 3 months later. 3 months later, I come back in 2015, and I was just like, man, there's something there. But I, like, at the time, like, thinking about it now, I never had the commitment. Like, I never understood what commitment was. I didn't understand what training was. I didn't understand any of that, like, adult stuff, you know? And I just thought, just give it a shot. You don't even like school. Why would you want to go to uni, you know? You can't keep lying to yourself. And so, yeah, I was just like, cool. I called my coach and I was like, I want to come in 3 times a week and be a proper weightlifter. She was like, cool. And then we started. And ever since then, I just head down and worked as hard as I could. We're here.
And the journey. Because you're right, like what Charles was saying. Because how do you start? How do you stay disciplined? Because I can imagine it's just so hard. Like you said, when all the boys are out there playing rugby and having fun, you can hear them laughing and all that kind of stuff. And you have to like wake up, go to the gym by yourself, and it's very hard. I can imagine very hard, very disciplined. And the thing is that you've done it. You're a champion, and you're going to the Olympics. You're traveling. You're doing something that you're passionate about now, and you're doing. It's a dream come true, Dogo. And so, bro, tell us in terms of obviously you winning that gold in 2018, but also not just winning that gold, because you had a lot of fans, not only from New Zealand, but obviously in Tonga, Samoa. People were talking about you worldwide, and especially around those countries in the Commonwealth. But you did something that was very amazing. Besides the gold, was that you were awarded the recipient of the David Dixon Award for sportsmanship. And I remember you helped that Lawatiti Louis, and you won that. And people said, man, this guy's not only a champion, but this guy, his sportsmanship is off the charts. How did it feel for you to win that award?
That's still like, that just gave me goosebumps. Like, it's my number one award so far. Like, when I won that, I was thinking like, I felt a little bit, what would you call it? Like, unappreciative of the gold medal. Like, when I went up and won that David Dixon award, I was like, man, stuff this gold medal. I like this one better. So, yeah, whenever people used to ask me, I was like, who cares about that gold medal? Yeah, I won the David Dixon award. Yeah, and it's, like I said before, Titi was one of my friends. You know, we did camps a lot together. We competed against each other a few times, and he used to always smoke me, man. Like, he was that number one dude. I used to always think, man, I'm never gonna beat this guy. I'm showing up here thinking like I'm good. Nah, this guy's gonna like sweep me. And so he was just unfortunate that he ended up tearing his meniscus in one of the clean and jerks. And like when he came back down, I chatting with him and stuff, and I just told the guy that was coming out to push him up, I was like, oh, you okay if I push him up? Like, just because he's one of my friends, and I just want to show respect that that he's one of the main reasons why that I pushed so hard to be the best, And so when I pushed him, I expected nothing from it. I didn't think people would look at it and be like, damn, that's different, when I got home that night, I was in the bathroom, in the shower, crying for a whole hour, and then waking up the next day, and my phone just went off. Yeah, I was like, man, I got to turn my phone off. So I shut my phone down. Went throughout the whole day doing press release and everything without my phone on. And people were like telling me like, oh, you seen the photos of you and Titi? And I was like, nah, what are you talking about? And then I seen it and I was like, oh, wow, like people actually talking about that thing, And so, yeah, I was just like I felt like everything is just worth it. Yeah, like when that competition, like what I was saying before, like I was praying, talking to God, like, geez, 2017 was straight shite. And like you come around the corner with 2018, winning a gold medal. Not only that, I won the David Dixon Award. You're showing my heart to the world. You're showing what my people are like. I'm here with my heritage and my people back at home. This is what we're like. And I'm here, talking down on you the previous year. And all of a sudden, like, the door opens up and it's like, I've always been here for you. And so when all of that happened, I was just, yeah. I like, to this day, I can't even explain it. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, what an amazing award. I mean, it is an amazing award, the David Dixon. And for you to do it, and it's just anyone, I think a lot of our people would just do that. It's just natural instinct, just to help someone else.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, that's why I was surprised. Like, all these people are like talking about this thing, and I was like you're telling me if somebody was down, you wouldn't pick them up? You know what I mean? Like that's us. That's us as PI people. That's the natural thing to do. And so like whenever people ask me about it, I'm just like I don't see why you're so fussed about it. Like if you went to where I come from, they'll do that for you. It doesn't even matter. Doesn't matter what color you are. Doesn't matter where you come from. Like they'll give you a lending hand. Man. So I was just like, this is crazy. Now the world gets to see what we're like back at home.
But most importantly, they get to see who you are, your character, Togo, man.
Just a vessel.
Hey, but hey, you should be recognized in terms of who you are as a character, in terms of your ability, obviously your ability, but who you are as a person, because people worldwide, sometimes it's quite rare now, like, what would you do that for? What? Who does that? But you did that. And so for you to win that award in the whole of the Commonwealth, that's a massive achievement.
Yeah, man, I didn't realize how big that award was.
Massive.
That's why, like, when I got home, I framed my award on the wall. My gold medal was just lying on the floor. And people used to ask me, like, oh, did you bring your medal? I was like, oh, no, I left it at home on the floor. It's like, that's what I mean. Like,
Man, I'll be wearing it to bed every night, bro.
Very grateful that I won gold, but I don't know. That David Dixon award just hit a little bit different.
That's cool.
That's a special one. No, that's me news. Oh man, excited for your preparation in a few weeks' time, and regardless of the result, and we know that your heart just real appreciative of being there. So praying that you get gold, but whatever the outcome is, man, proud regardless, and we'll claim you. Southside will claim you, even if New Zealand will. But one thing that in the short time that we've just met you, like one thing that that I really resonate with you is just your heart for our youngins and our community, and like I know this is your profession and where your mindset is, but are you able to talk to us your other passion?
Yeah, I guess with the troubled youth, that's one of my biggest passions, especially for where I'm at now. Just the way I grew up, like, very grateful for what my mom's done for us and my dad and them, and all my grandparents and all of them, my siblings. I'm one of 11 kids. And like from my dad's side, there was no problem. Money was not a thing. It's whatever you wanted, you'd get it. My mom's side, a little bit different. When we went over to my mom's parents' house, it was like you learn how to cook, you learn how to wash the dishes by hand, you know how to wash your excuse me. You know how to wash your clothes by hand, peeling all the cassavas and all that stuff, And so I learned very young what it was like to be on both sides. But when I came to New Zealand, I never really understood why my mom used to tell me certain things, or why she would send me to Montreal College. Because I begged her. I was like, oh, I want to go OC. I want to go OC. That's where all my boys are. And it wasn't until like later on in life where I grew up and I was more exposed to what the real world is like. I understood like what my mom was doing for us. She was protecting me from the reality of life, and I'm grateful because I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for her guidance. And she used to always tell me, like, remember to pick your friends, be careful of who you hang out with. And I used to always think, like, but you don't know these people. Like, these people are cool, And she used to tell me, like, when your friends are out playing at lunchtime, go to the library, read a book, do your homework or something. And I used to always get confused, and it wasn't until later on where I understood where she was coming from. And so with that type of knowledge, I was, and being at the position that I'm in now, it's a passion of mine to help out the youth, to the troubled youth, and try and stir them in a path where they can benefit from being who they are. And so we've done a little bit of work with the troubled kids, and I want to do more. You know, in the near future, I want to be able to open up a space where I can invite all these kids, just to make them feel like they're at home, make them feel like that they have a space to go to when they don't know what to do. Be able to come in and work out and feel good afterwards, and like have a goal, like if they want to be a sports star or something, whatever it is. I just want to be able to help them get to that space that they want to be in. And I'm just praying and hoping that one day I get the chance to set up a spot where all of this can come into life, and I get to help people. The way I think about it is like, I want to be able to give people the stationery that they don't have, especially our people here in Southside. Like, I train in A2 Millennium sometimes, and they've got everything kitted out. Like, some of the schools that come out there, like, I don't think they understand what it is they have. Whereas our kids here, when do we go out to play? Lunchtime? And then once that's done, it's like, home time? We don't have a space where we can go and develop what it is that we want to do. So my passion for this, and my vision is to be able to give these kids the stationery that they need to be better.
That's me. Yeah. Does it buzz you out that the thought of you being like a role model or inspiration for a Southside kid? Like, when us growing up, it was David Tua, it was John Alomu, Michael Jones, and now for another generation it would be David Liti.
Yeah, like for me it's crazy. I never wanted to accept that reality. When I started getting more into the sports world, I guess because of the responsibilities that come with it, I just want to be that normal dude. I just want to be able to go out with my friends and like not do something super silly, but like be silly enough that like everybody would just look at me like, it's just that just that average dude. But like the more I understand it, the more I grow into it, I'm just like, that's a blessing. Like you get to inspire these kids. You get to try and source something out to help them out. So it's my mindset's changed from like, I don't want that responsibility, to like, maybe I can help. Maybe that is my calling. This whole weightlifting thing is just a setup for what's to come. So it's crazy to think people might see me as a role model, but at the same time, it's a real blessing.
Schools. Loved it. Regardless, man, role model not, just be a real model.
Yeah.
And then, people will see the
For
highs,
sure.
people see the lows, but as long as you continue to be you, man, we're just happy that you're there, representing.
Appreciate it.
That's funny, David. And I like that what you said in terms of role model, because sometimes I don't know, and maybe you hear your thoughts, because sometimes it seems a little bit unfair, especially for those in the public, or in the public eye, or sports or professional athlete, and people are like, automatically, you're supposed to be a role model. And so I often wonder, like, hey man, I didn't ask to be a role model. I'm just doing my job. I'm just playing, and I'm weightlifting, and that's not my job. But I can imagine the pressure that you used to, like, it's kind of microscopic and looking at your lifestyle and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. But you said you embrace it. I embrace it. I want to inspire young people, or people, or in this generation, to, like, if they want to be weightlifters or whatever, then that's great. In terms of those budding weightlifters, those young ones who are like, oh man, I want to be like David Liti on a lift like that. What kind of advice could you give to some young budding weightlifter who wants to kind of follow the same path as you?
The advice I would give them is something I got from a mentor in my lifting career, is because I wanted to be like exactly the same as the best weightlifter that we had, which was Nigel Avery as a super. And I used to come to training and be like, man, I just want to be like Nigel. I want to be like Nigel. And so this mentor of mine said, why don't you be like David? Why don't you be like the next David Liti? You know, and I just was like, oh man, that makes so much more sense now, you know? Why would I be somebody else that I can't? You know, why can't I just be myself and be better? So my advice would be you and be better. Whatever it is you do it to the best of your ability and just be the best at it. Yeah.
Man, that's good. That's good. Straight up good, man. And what do you think? Because I think it's important that you, and I'm glad you said that, because I think somehow in terms of our people, just more general, more men in this day and age, and who are kind of finding it hard in terms of hardships or struggles or trauma, whatever it is, David. And so, because your mindset obviously is as a pro athlete, or disciplined. What do you think in terms of our men, in terms of even more so our people, in terms of how do we get to a place where we're disciplined and follow our dreams and get to our goals, instead of like you're saying, oh, I just want to just hang out with everyone else and just have fun. But how do you get to that place? And also, how did you get to that place?
Oh, that one's a tough one. Because I fully understand like what you're saying, because that is our people. We want to be around everybody. We're, you know, our whole thing is family. We want to be around our family all the time, as much as we can, and doing things on our own is different. You know, it's foreign to us, and I don't know, because it's different from everybody, I guess, and being able to get into that type of mindset or get into that space, you just got to trial and fail. You know, it's the best way to learn is to fail. There's no two ways about it. And it shows like some people are built for it and some people aren't. And, you know, for those that are, they will make it happen. And for those that don't, they won't. It's the harsh reality of life. And we as the PI community just need to understand it. We got to accept it. And, you know, just because it gets a little bit hard, man, we weren't weak. Our ancestors are built different, you know? So we just got to tap into what it is we're good at and take advantage of it. It's hard to speak on other people, on what they're like, because, you know, we're not them. But, yeah, I'm not sure.
No, that's good. No, I think it's a good answer, because you're right. I like what you said, because as a people, we're collective, eh? We like to be around each other and do things together as a group. But when I think, I don't know, maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like when you have a specific goal, then you have to kind of leave the pack, so to speak, to achieve that goal.
Yeah. And exactly, like what you're saying is on point, because that's what I felt like. You know, I wanted to be with everybody. I wanted to do everything with everybody. But if I wanted the best for me, for something different, I had to leave the pack. Like being at home, it was hard. Like it was hard for my family to accept that what I wanted to do was weightlifting. It wasn't I didn't want to study. I pulled out of my job, you know, and so I wasn't financially supporting home, and that was kind of different, because our ancestors came here for us to have a better future, but they forget that they came here, not us. You know, we didn't choose to come here. We're just we're not a product, but you know, we're just the inside of it, I guess. You know, they did the hard yards by coming over. Now it's our turn to carry it on. But they need to understand that it doesn't matter what it is that we do. Like just because they wanted to be doctors and they wanted us to study and be the best, it doesn't mean we have to do that. We've got more opportunities now, especially nowadays here in New Zealand, to be whatever we wanted. Like, look at people at home sitting in front of their desk playing games, making millions. Like, bro, it's a way we need to understand that we can, have a better lifestyle in all sorts of ways. It doesn't have to be studying. It doesn't have to be working hard, and it's hard to accept, and it's hard for us, especially, like, for me, I just felt like I should just give myself a hiding just then, because, talking up to our elders, that's not our thing. It's not us. It's different, so it's hard to accept, but the reality is we gotta lead these kids to do what they want, because they might be better at certain things than what we think.
So that would have been real challenging for you, docs? Like, especially with the older generation, our elders, they usually see success or successful career in those fields, like police officer, doctor, accountant, lawyer. Anything outside of that, you're like, no.
It's a fairy tale.
And so you having to quit your job, that burden of not being able to contribute to the family, because PI is just like always having to contribute to the household. So that would have been tough. And then you talking about, this my dream. This is what I want to choose. And like, there's no money in there. What the?
But that's exactly what was happening. Like, I guess I was just lucky enough that I was second youngest. Because our youngest will always get away with it.
So the elders will get all the high-leads, all the ground-leads, and then by the time it gets
to us, it's boring, So I guess I was lucky in that way. But yeah, man, like, bro, some of my grandparents' siblings, they used to come to me and be like, do you want to be weightlifting? Like, that's not right, You should be studying, you should be working, you should be making money for the family. And I used to just like laugh it off and like, yeah. Bro, and he's number one, like, in my messages, like, oh, congratulations. Like, it's hard to accept it, but you just gotta, be a little bit more patient with your elders, and it's our way of life.
Yeah.
So we can't really do much about it. But yeah, I think I was just lucky enough to be one of the youngest, and my parents was already in Tonga, and my sister was looking after us. And I think her biggest worry was like, man, how the hell am I supposed to fund for this kid? We can barely pay rent here, and like, this kid wants to go and make the New Zealand team, and we have to pay for his trip, So, yeah.
So family had your back there.
Yeah. They had my back, but it was like, how are we going to support that? We ain't got no money, bro. So, yeah. It was hard. It was hard for them to accept that I wanted to do something that wasn't going to benefit us financially. Yeah. But it took a little bit of time, but yeah, after I won 2018 Commonwealth Games, like, nobody looked back.
That's awesome.
Jeez. But do you find it interesting, David? 'Cause you're right. Some of our elders, obviously the normal jobs, or the jobs that kind of like, these are the jobs, and obviously they want the best for us. You want lawyers, doctors, and so forth. And so was that the goal for you as well, in terms of your family? Is like, no, you got to be a doctor, got to be a lawyer. Is everyone in the family in that kind of category in terms of line of work?
Yeah. Bro, my family's like pretty much covered everything. Like, the eldest is a electric engineer. The second is an accountant. Third is a nurse. Fourth is a diesel engineer. Fifth is a civil engineer. 6 wanted to be in the police. 7 is an architect. 8 is also a nurse. 9 is a builder. I'm 10, and my little sister. We get away with everything.
Dang, Doko, man.
Your parents did an amazing job, man.
Props to your mom and dad.
So it was hard for them to accept, like, man, this guy doesn't want to get a degree.
Yeah.
But, yeah. I mean, I've got my diploma now in sports, so whatever.
That's hey, Doko, man. I love that. I love it. You kind of like the rebel. You kind of break the mold down, Doko.
That's the thing. Like, the more I got into this weightlifting thing, I understood, like, as hard as it is for our culture to break the barriers, we have to. We're not going to go anywhere if we're going to stay in the barrier that we've been kept in. You know? It's like that movie Moana. Like, if you're not going to go past the reef, you're not going to explore anything. You know? Powerful. You're not going to find anything new. You're not going to elevate yourself. You're not going to elevate your village, your people.
Bro.
That's powerful.
I mean, you better stop some spring bars there, man. Bro, I love, you know what I love that what you just said, Doko, because you absolutely, I totally agree, because sometimes, you know, and like I said before, a lot of our parents, our elders, they're concerned and they're worried about, you know, some of us making these decisions and doing something different outside the box, and obviously, and your family's done well. Your mom and dad, props to them and to your siblings. And here you are, you look at the list, like, man, engineer, civil engineer, architect, and then weightlifter. Yeah. It's not just weightlifter. This is champion weightlifter, champion weightlifter. And so, bro, and so I can imagine whoever the elder was who talked to you, hey, come on, go study. And I think a lot of the times our ancestors or our elders kind of, obviously they're worried, but when, like you said, just be patient, and you have to be patient, and then they see the fruits of your labor, like, oh my gosh, my son or my nephew, oh, gold. Well, look at the influence and the ripple effect of other people looking like, man, I want to be like David. They would have been super proud. They would have been super proud. Well, tell us, how was Mum and Dad when you won that gold?
So they were watching in Tonga. None of my siblings could make it over, but one of my siblings was already in she lives in Melbourne, so she ended up coming down with her husband to watch, and she was, you know, videoing, sending it back, and my parents was watching through FaceTime of my siblings here, watching it live, and so, like, they were happy, they were so proud. Like, my mom always supported whatever we did. It didn't matter what we did. She was like, if you want to do it, but do it to the best of your abilities, you know. My sister and them, who took care of us, always believed that that I could do good in weightlifting, but her, like I said before, like, her biggest worry was, like, how was she going to financially support me? And everyone else was just like, this guy's not going to make it, you know? And so once I won 2018 Commonwealth Games, it changed everybody's perspective. Like, oh, maybe there are different ways to getting out there, you know? Maybe there are different ways to providing for our family. And so it changed. So whenever I go to family functions now, it's like, oh, congratulations, what are you doing next? Or where are you going here and there? And all of that stuff. And yeah, my parents, like, whenever I go to Tonga, bro, my dad, like, shows me off to everybody. Like, everywhere we go, it's like, oh, that's my son, the weightlifter. Yeah, he got an Olympics. Yeah.
Son, come here, lift this up, show them.
Gee,
Pick up the tree.
I was just like, Shanda, you don't even know how to speak English. Relax. All of a sudden, you're an English speaker. Oh, okay. Chill out. Yeah. But yeah, my mom used to always encourage us to do what we wanted. But now she's at that buzz where she's like, son, be careful. You've done enough. That's it. You can stop now, you know? And I just always think, yeah, mom, almost just a few more years. And
Cool.
It's been 7 years and I'm still saying, yeah, a few more years, mom, a few more years.
That's awesome.
So, yeah.
You know what I love about your story is just breaking that mold, because I guess every generation has that you know, all our elders want is the best for us, and sometimes they're tunnel vision, and for you knew your vision, you knew what was planted in you, and you stuck to it. And like Pete said, sometimes people won't understand that time, but they see the fruit after, and then that's where, oh my gosh, it helps change perspective. And I love that. It's encouraging for a lot of parents out there in terms of what you're saying, like support whatever your kids are doing, want to do, but do it 100.
Yeah, for sure.
They do it half-assed.
Yeah.
So that's me.
Like it's a matter of like you, because we're bigger parents, you know. Just let me do it. But you gotta deliver. That's the thing. You gotta own up to your word. You can't just beg your parents you want to do it and be like, oh, it's getting hard, I want to quit. Yeah. Nah, bro, it comes with a lot of responsibilities, and that was one of the biggest things that I learned. Like, even with this whole weightlifting thing, and I didn't understand much. I understood that I had to make it. I had to see it through. Like, be a little bit more patient. You're gonna get there. You just need to work harder and harder and harder. Even when it gets hard, push a little bit harder, because you need to make sure that what you begged for, you're gonna get. You know,
Man, aren't you glad that you in terms of the
that's
return?
what I'm saying though. Like, I don't know how else to feel, but like I'm blessed. You know, like our people is just, there's so much potential there. I don't know.
That's awesome, Dogo.
There's just so much potential. When we understand what it's like, what it was like for our ancestors back at home to travel throughout the ocean and navigate everywhere, bro, by using your hands and counting the stars. Sana, we can do anything in this world. Look at all the technology we got. We just need to tap into it.
And we got no excuses here, David.
None.
No. But you know, David, props to you, because it takes a lot of courage to break the mold and say, hey, you know what, I'm gonna go represent New Zealand and weightlifting and then become the champion. But I like you said, because sometimes people are like, yeah, I'm going to do this, and people are helping you and supporting you and funding you, like your sister funding certain people. And like you said, you're going to do it, you better deliver. You better deliver. The people are wanting return on investment. And so when you did this, and I like it, you said, because I can imagine there's a lot of people say, oh, I'm going to do this, and then they kind of fall through the cracks. And all that, was there pressure for you to go, man, I better deliver, man? What if I don't deliver? Were there times when you kind of like self-doubt, or people were doubting you, and obviously people would have doubted you, but in your own mind, like, oh man, I better deliver. What if I don't deliver?
I guess, from the start, I knew I had to. You know, like, this is the life that I chose. I've got to, like you said, I've got to return on this investment. And like, the timing is probably one of the hardest things for people to understand. Like, you gotta give things time. Yeah, it doesn't, like, when you buy a lottery ticket, you don't win first time round. You gotta keep going. And so you gotta be ready to spend more time than anything to return on this investment. And I like that. I've never heard of that before, like that return on investment thing, because then it brings us back to like the investment of our ancestors was coming over here, and now we've got to deliver and return on that investment. So I never had any problems, because like I said, like I got away with a lot of things being, the second youngest in my family. So the pressure for me to return on investment for them was not that big, but the pressure to return investment on myself because of them, it was a different level. It's I had to understand that, like, you're doing this for you because of them, and I couldn't let myself fail. And even if I tell people, like, some of the things that I say when I go into a lift, like, when I do a lift, I'm just like, because if I die today, I guess it's God willing. You know, and I just go for it. Like, there's no fear in me to like go in there and lift the weight and be like, oh, I'm a little bit scared. I don't want to get under it. Oh, I don't want to snatch it. I don't want to jerk it. None. I'm just like, if it's God willing, bro, it's your time to go. Because you're either returning this investment or you're not. You know?
Toko,
You gotta.
man.
You gotta.
Man.
That's cool.
Surely. Man, you know what's so cool? Like, obviously, people think return on investment for the family or the family. But like you said, for you. It has to be for you. Otherwise...
It's gotta be for you because of them.
Yeah.
Like, you can't do anything that'll change, you know, their life apart from them doing it themselves. So what makes you think you can do that? If you can change you because of them and for them, like, they'll look at it and be like, oh man, I've helped them so much. And look at him. He's happy. I'm happy that he's happy. You know? It's not like you going, oh, I'm gonna let me give you $1 million, and you're just gonna be like, yeah, cool, I deserve it. You know what I mean? It's a little bit different. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna give you this because of this. Oh, okay, cool. I've got a reason. I'm gonna do this for me because you've helped me. And I want you to know that your investment it's going somewhere.
And it matters, eh?
And it matters, yeah.
That's me. Can I have $1 million, eh?
Yo.
There's like return on investment. I want $100 million back.
Hold on, Gio, let me just call the way my bank account works.
That's cool, man. Toko, man. Oh, that's incredible. What an incredible story, Toko. And so, obviously, we obviously the Olympics coming up very soon. But were there days? I'm assuming because we're not naive to think that you didn't have any bad days, or there's some days that I don't want to do this again. I want to quit. Were there days where you just felt like, man, I just can't do this anymore, or you just went down like a
I had a full
down spiral?
period of it. I had a full period of it. So one of the biggest inspiration in my weightlifting career was my grandpa. Named after my grandpa, and my grandpa was very big in import and exporting in Tonga. So he was one of the first people to do that kind of stuff, and like he was first guy to have like a truck in Tonga and tractor and all that kind of stuff, you know. He won the golden shovel from the king for the school agricultural competitions, and so his name was up there in Tonga in terms of farming and everything. And even when he came to New Zealand, he bought his first house all cash, and the lawyer looked at him like laughing, thinking like, this guy's bullshit. You know, it's like, yeah, it's like crazy. Like, whenever I meet people now and they talk about him, I'm just like, oh, really? Is that what he did? Like, oh, it's this and that and that. And so when I think about it, it's like, man, I've got to live up to the name now. So it is even more, you know, gas in the fire. And so when he passed away in 2018, end of the year, I lost all motivation. There was nothing there for me. I thought like, oh, maybe this is the end of my career. Maybe I hit Commonwealth Games, and maybe that's the peak of it, and that's the end of it. You know, there's no need for me to carry on. Grandpa's gone. Like, what more is there for me to prove? He's not going to see it. He's not going to reap any of the rewards. He's not going to come and watch me compete. He's not going to, you know, call me and say, oh, I'm very proud of you, son. I want you to do more, you know. And so when I went over to Tonga for the funeral, I was very confused, and I was thinking like, man, what am I going to do now? And I remember after the funeral, I decided, I was like, oh, I better go back for training. And so I was at the airport. My sister had dropped me off. And I just remember walking through and sitting down in the waiting area and just cried. Like, bro, ugly crying, eh? Like snot running down my nose, everything. And I was messaging my siblings and I was just like, man, maybe it's time for me to finish. I don't want to do this anymore. I've got no more drive. There's nothing else for me to prove. Grandpa's gone. He's the main reason why I'm doing this. You know, when I started off weightlifting, he wanted me to win a gold medal so he could wear it and show his friends at church. I've got no more, like, there's nothing else for me to prove. There's nothing, I don't need to win any more medals to bring back to who? Nobody, you know? And so I was telling them, and I was just like thinking, well, maybe it is time for me to finish. And so they were just saying like, nah, don't be silly. It's just Grandpa, like, he'd want you to carry on and be better, be bigger. Just go and do more. And like at the time I was thinking, nah, I'm done. And I just kind of said to them like, yeah, okay, cool. I think I'm just being dramatic. But when I came home, training was just down to training, like no motivation. Straight after training, I'll just sit there. Coach would be like, you ready to train? I was like, yeah. I'll just sit there and just cry the whole training session. Then I'll go back home, like no motivation at all, you know. And I really thought that at that period of time, end of 2018, early 2019, I was done for. And yeah, I'm just super, super glad that I just gave it a little bit of time, let things settle. And I never really understood what it was to mourn for somebody you loved so much. And when I had the time to understand that, I was like, oh man, so this is what it's like. This is what it's like to mourn for somebody you loved. Like, you feel like your world's ending, you know? And so I accepted it. I was like, cool, maybe that's just what it was. Now that I'm finished, I gotta get back on track. So I prepared for a few weeks to compete in Thailand and went over there and won silver again and come back and just carried on with the year as normal. And I'm so glad that I didn't decide just because of my emotions at the time. And I just gave it a little bit of time and been a little bit more patient with it. And yeah, that was the only time that I thought that I was done, was when my grandpa passed away. And every day I'm just hoping, like, man, he's looking down at me, watching me, saying, I'm proud of you.
It's awesome.
No.
Thanks for sharing that. We've spoken a lot about family and some significant people in your life. I'm just really interested in terms of the relationship between you and your coach. Like, how important is your coach to you? This little balangi.
This little balangi. This little midget. This little hobbit. She's been great. Like, she's definitely, a big part of the reason why I am who I am today. When I used to come to the gym after school, like, I used to just come in and be like, oh, miss, I'm tired. I was asleep, wake up and be like, oh, we missed training. She's like, yeah, it's okay. Come back, the next day. I'll disappear and come back like in a few weeks, and like, the way I see it is like, for us as islanders, it's hard for us to accept and to trust somebody that's outside of our circle. And so, like, when she was like, oh, come, I've got food for you today, I was just kind of like, oh, this is weird. Like, you're white, you're Balangi, you're not even from where I'm from, but you're here giving me food, I was like, oh, okay, cool. Now that you're giving us a gym to come into, like, it's a free space to be who we want to be. Like, if we want to come here and chill out and sleep, we're here to chill out and sleep, and she just let us be. And it took a little while for me to understand, like, why is this lady doing this, you know? And come on, later on in our journey, like, I understood that she wanted the best for us. She just wanted us to feel like we have a space to come to and express, you know. And even if it's by weightlifting, then let it be by weightlifting. And over time, like, she would end up bringing lunch every day, you know, making us lunch every day. And I was just always thinking, like, man, this is so weird. It's like this white lady, and like, we come to her gym for free, but she's bringing us food, you know. As time went on, I went from catching the bus to getting dropped off home, you know. And as time went on, we went on a few trips together, and I just thought, like, man, this lady really does just want to help us. It's crazy. And for us as islanders, accepting and trusting somebody outside of our circle, it's big.
It's massive.
It's massive, you know. And so for me, I was just like, oh, maybe she does want the best for us. And so as the years went on, I ended up moving in. You know, I decided to move into my coach's house to just for better athlete lifestyle, I guess. Release the pressure on my sister to come home and have another mouth to feed, you know, on top of everybody else. And yeah, like, what she's done for me and my journey it's unbelievable. It's crazy, you know. Literally, the backbone of this whole journey, of this whole career, is that lady. And yeah, I mean, she's done a good job, and I just hope one day we can repay that back. Yeah.
So cool. And you bring up a good point, because, you know, often people outside of that circle, you know, they always think, hey, what's the hidden
especially
agenda?
as us, like, being PIs. Like, our circle is our circle. That's where we're comfortable at. Once somebody comes from the outside, it's like, yeah, I don't trust that dude. Yeah, see? And
she's just wanted the best for you and the community. That's so awesome.
And so it just made things a lot easier.
Cool.
Man, you know what's so cool, David? Just the mold. Like, it goes back to breaking the mold, but also along the journey, is like you said it several times. Patience, and wait, and you've waited. Obviously, if your granddad, you know, you could have, and you said, you know, I'm done. It's finished. Granddad's passed on. I don't need to carry on. I don't need to win any more medals. I've done it all, and so you didn't. It sounds like you didn't get outside help, but it just came to you as it just kind of dawned on you. No, just wait, and just carry on and be patient. And so as you wait, and I'm thinking of, because it sounds like you're a man of faith, and so are you waiting in terms of waiting? Are you waiting on the Lord to give you directions, or are you just kind of just letting it all sink in and just see what happens? Well, what's your take on that?
I guess it's that, just waiting on the Lord to really put things in place. I really believe in that saying, like, the Lord's plan's always greater. It's always on time. It's never late. It's never early, you know. And so, like, growing up the way that I grew up, which is why I think I've become a person to, what are those guys, like, when you sit at the back of the room and, like, everybody's in the room and you just kind of, like, oversee, you know? Like, you just kind of watch and, like, read what people are like and understand a little bit more.
Oh, yeah,
I don't know the word for it.
Observant, yeah.
I think I've become that type of person because of faith. You can't just rush into things and think it's the right way to do it. When there's always a good time, there's always, you know, a better plan. And so I've always understood like God's way is it's the only way, you know. There's no point of me trying to rush things when God's got a plan. You just gotta wait it out. When the time's right, the time will be right. And like what I was saying before, like whenever I attempt to lift and I tell myself like, if you die today, it's God willing. Like that's just His plan. You just gotta accept it. There's no two ways about it. And so it's the same thing with everything else that I do. Like when good things come my way, I'll say, oh, it's God's plan. And when bad things come my way, that's God's plan. You can't just change up just because you feel a certain way, you know? And so being able to grow up in a space where faith is a big thing is a massive blessing for me, because then you can accept the reality of the world as it is, without a bias opinion, I guess.
Man, good advice as well. Because you obviously in this day and age, it's just society. It's like instant gratification. Just get, I want it now. Just give it to me now. And people are quite impatient. But you're seeing the opposite. Just be patient. Just wait and wait on God. And
yeah, I don't know. That's just the way that I've been taught. So
good,
I don't
man.
like. It's like that whole wheelchair pushing up titty on the thing. You know, that's just the way we're taught. I don't see anything like surprising about it or anything like that. You know, it's just the way of living and just the way I've been told how things go, and that's just how I've followed things.
It's good to go. And it's the norm. It's the norm, eh?
Yeah.
But some people think it's quite abnormal. Like, what is this? Quite rare. That's rare to do all that kind of stuff. And to wait, like in this day and age, you can't wait. Just go.
Yeah.
Just get it. Just every opportunity comes, just take it. And so you wait, and I think there's something very special on the journey that you're undertaking right now, even with the Olympics. And so just going back to the Olympics, if you don't mind, Toko. What's obviously the ultimate goal is gold. And so when you're entering into that stadium, wherever it is that you're lifting, what is going to be the first thing on your mind when you make it thus far to reaching that goal of gold? What's going to be the first thing? Or is there going to be anything in your mind, or is this what are you thinking? What are you going to be thinking during that time?
Not much. Straight thankful. Yeah. It's I've always believed like when you make things complicated, it's gonna be complicated. You know, you've got to be able to control what it's like to live in your world. So, like if everything goes perfectly planned and I end up some miracle winning gold, my first thought is, that's God's plan. I'm thankful for it. Like my goal winning 2018 was a surprise. And so the 2022 Commonwealth Games in Birmingham, my goal was to win back-to-back. But at the whole time I was kind of nervous because I was thinking, man, maybe it's not my time. Maybe it's not the plan for me, you know? And I really, like, I was the strongest ever in my career at the time, you know? I hit some numbers I've never hit before in training, was going good. And then me and my coach had a camp planned out to go to England for 5 weeks before we compete at the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham. And when we were over there, I was like, cool, I'm feeling good. Started feeling like, you know, a little bit of a niggle. And I was like, nah, I can push through it. I'll just keep going. It'll subside. It'll just go away. Week 2, not getting any better. Week 3, not getting any better. Week 4, getting worse. Week 5, getting worse. And I was thinking, damn. Here I thought, coming from New Zealand, I'm at my best shape ever. I'm going to sweep these guys. You know, I'm going to go at it and I'm just going to take gold and I'm going to be at the top. Light work. I come to the competition and I was thinking, man, I feel like I'm not even here. You know, I finally get to work with some of the physios because when we were over there, it was just me and my coach. and so it was hard training with the GB team and all of this stuff. Big ups to them because they tried to help out as well, and a big part of our camp. And once I actually got proper treatment from the New Zealand team going into the Commonwealth Games, we were only 5 days out. So I had treatment every day to try and get something out of me by the time competition day comes out. And so when I went into the competition, I was hoping like, oh man, I hope that these guys like have a bad day too, so I can like kind of just like push myself over the top. And when they didn't, I was like, oh, God's plan, it's not my time. That's literally first thing I thought. It's not my time. If God said it's not my time, no, it's not my time. I can't fuss about it. Why would I cry about it? Why would I go complaining about it? I didn't win. Just accept it. So I think like the same thing would happen. If I was to miraculously win gold at the Olympics, it would be the same thing. It's God's plan. I'll be happy. Yeah.
Malo, toko. Malo. I tell you what, toko. Just been an absolute pleasure. Just you sharing and also just the nuggets as well. The nuggets and the wisdom. The wisdom spoken, and you're only 27 years old. 27 years old. And when you first
my knees feeling like what, 40?
27 years old, and like you're already a champion, and that you're going to the Olympics in Paris. But I do have one more question, Toko. When it's all said and done, when the smoke is settled and everything's done, and you've accomplished all these amazing feats, what do you want to be renowned for? What do you want to be known for, in terms of your career, but more so as a person?
I've always thought about that part. Like, since the start of my career, I've always told my coach, like, I want to enjoy being an athlete. You know, I want to enjoy all parts of it. So, for these next few years, don't teach me how to coach. Don't teach me how to do any of these other stuff. Just teach me to be an athlete. I just want to enjoy the whole thing. And sometimes I used to think, like, man, maybe this year's the year to retire. Maybe I might retire at the end of the year. And one of my friends, told me, you just have to remember that retirement is forever. And I was like, damn, true. I was like straight back on the train of like, I need to be an athlete still. I gotta enjoy this. And so I thought about what would life be like at the end of this career. And I've come to realize that it's not about me. I want people to know my family's name, my grandpa's name. It was the sacrifices from them to get me to where I am. So if anything was to come out of what it is to remember me by, it would be family. This brown kid who came from Tonga at the age of 10, moving around Auckland trying to find a home with the parents, and then somehow stumbling into a gym, going on to win multiple international medals, making the Olympics. When you think of that kid, it's like, how did he get there? I want people to know it's my family. They got me there. If it wasn't the sacrifice of my ancestors or my family, I'd never be here.
Well said, Toko. Well said. What a legacy of not only just you, but your whole family.
That's awesome. Yeah, man. I'm just real grateful to have met you and just hearing your story, bro. Still a young gun, and there's so much more. Like, after this chapter or this season, however it lasts, that you're gonna go on to do great things, whatever you end up doing. But I'm really encouraged. Like, you've said a lot of stuff around that real counter-cultural, especially in a time like this now. Like when, like people saying, society saying, you got to grind, get things done now. live your best life now, but with you, it's like, yeah, work hard, but you know, it's all in God's time, and you know, I get from it like trust the process, because you know,
for sure.
there's a quote like, everyone wants the goal, but no one wants to go through the process, you know, and so, you know, you've reminded me like, man, we can have all these dreams and all these goals, but there's no quick fix. It's like there's a long process that goes through it, but just being patient in it and know that your time will come. So thank you for that. Thank you for the reminder. Thank you for the reminder of how important family is. Thank you for the reminder that as a parent, I have a responsibility to support my kids in whatever they want. Just making sure that they don't end up wanting to be whakalaiti or something. Or a porn star. But yeah, I'm really encouraged, and Shaks, I can't wait to see you.
I appreciate it, man.
You know, go compete. If you win, south side.
South
if you lose, east side.
If I lose, don't come back. Straight to Tonga.
But man, we're just so proud that you're going to represent, and just hearing your story. Like, the thing for me is like, when I see young people that we're working with, and especially troubled youth, or you know, those that come from a background that's of the struggle, like, you represent all our youth, like, that it's possible, that whatever you put your mind into, making that commitment, knowing that there's sacrifices that need to be made, breaking the mold, our young people can do that too. And it just needs just a few people in a family environment or safe space that provide the opportunity and able to see that potential and help them believe that they can do it.
Sure.
And you know, your story encapsulates all of that. Like, just your coach providing that space, you know, not wanting anything from it, but just wanting the best for you. And you got this family support. And you gotta have your haters, because it's your haters that will fuel you and then give you the opportunity. Yeah, you wait to see.
Bro.
And so, yeah, I'm really encouraged from just this time we've had. So I just want to honor you also for a young gun, and can't wait to have you back to do our podcast. Sorry, I mean podcast. I was thinking podcast, but yeah, ofatu togo.
But you know what's so cool about you, David? As humble as you are an absolute killer, man.
Yo,
it is, and like you said, it's just. And the thing is, you know what's so cool? Your humility is not one of those. You know, sometimes humble, nah. You know, it's, for me, it's just like fake humility. But you're humble, but you know very well there's a confidence, there's a quiet confidence in your ability, and you trust your ability.
Yes, that's the thing. Like, we forget that there's a difference. There's a difference between being cocky and being confident. You know, and we gotta understand what the space is like. We gotta read like, oh, can I be this person or can I be that person? You know, and bro, for us Islanders, we're not allowed to say anything. When the elders are in the house, you shush, you sit down, you know? And it's just, it's finding a balance, man, for you to express. And like when I said before, you know, my coach gave me that space. She gave me the stationery that I needed to be who I am today. And that's why, like, the vision of giving our people that stationery is big for me. Because I want to be able to you know, tell these kids that they can do it, man. You can be open. You can be who you want to be, and for it to be in a safe space, you know. It's I think for me it's gonna be like the next cool thing to understand and to work on is being more in that kind of line of work as well. So
it's cool.
Yeah.
So, because I'm assuming, is that kind of something you're kind of veering into in the near future? More of the
yeah, for sure. Like, this year's 10 years of international for me, being an international weightlifter. And so, like I said before, like I told my coach that I wanted to enjoy being an athlete. I want to enjoy every single bit of it. And I feel like this year after the Olympics, it's time for me to widen my horizon and be a little bit more open to learning more things. So when the time comes, I'm ready to take it on. I'm ready to teach. I'm ready to give that stationery for the kids to be in a space where they feel safe.
Man, toko, man, look forward to that, man. So we're gonna see a lot of David Liti gyms up and running.
Yes, sir.
Oh man, awesome, toko.
If anybody's listening with some free space,
Yeah, man, tell them.
Hit us
Look at that camera. Tell them, toko, man. Hey, man, if you are looking for space, then that'd be awesome. And so, all the best. Like I said, like Charles was saying, hey, toko, all the best for the Olympics and Paris, and we'll be rooting for you. We'll be just kind of cheering you on, toko. And we want, yeah. I'm happy for the best. I want you to win that gold, man. And so, bro, all the best with your endeavors, your future endeavors, your family, your family, but more so, toko, thank you so much. Thank you for your humility, but also thank you for your honesty, and also thank you for who you are as a young man. You know, it's quite rare. I don't know if it's rare, but for the longest time, we're hearing some young people doing some amazing things, and you're one of those young men, so to speak, who are doing some amazing things and have already accomplished some amazing feats already. So, toko, keep going, and we'll be rooting you and just cheering you on. And so, bless you, man. Ofatu. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Awat.
But toko, we do have a gift for you. Every person that comes on the podcast, we always do a caricature, a cartoon of how we envision them to be. And so this is on behalf of the Mandate team, toko.
He's going to give you the dumbbell.
Always give you a champagne to continue to celebrate your successes thus far, and also celebrate.
Oh man,
and this is on behalf of the Mandate team, toko. There's the caricature cartoon of
oh nah, this is gangster.
And so, toko, thank you so much.
Thank you very much, boys.
No, thank you, toko. And we always ask our guests: is anyone, toko, you can think of, David, you can think of that would be ideal to come on the podcast? Do you think that you should have this person
on?
Your coach. Because you called her a little midget. She's going to say, oh, that big buffoon.
But she would say that too. We had this thing when she started dropping us off, like home. I used to train with a Samoan guy. And so she started off by dropping me off to the bus stop, and then she'll drop him off because it was on her way home. And he came home one day and was like, gee, you know what she said? Like, no, what happened? She goes, after she dropped you off to the bus stop, she goes, man, I hate those Tongans. And I go, why? He goes, they always eat those dogs, eh? Honestly, he made it up. And I was like, gee, not even. He goes, yeah, gee, that's what she said. So ever since then, like, the crew has always been like, remember when you don't like Tongans because they eat dogs? And so we always like bring it up, and she always gets like angry. It's like, no, I never said that, bro. Gee, lady, relax.
So was he lying, that guy? Was he?
Yeah. So one of my boys was like, gee, she said she hates Tongans, gee.
Oh man, toko, man, thank you, toko, thank you. But toko, is there anything? We always give our guests the last words. Any words of encouragement for our men out there?
Blow your kisses and not opportunities.
Man.
Take life, you just take your opportunities with both hands and see where God takes it. I don't know, toko.
Thank you. Thank you to David Liti once again. And so please subscribe. Please, if you can hit the subscribe button, that'd be awesome. But also we look forward to your well thought out comments as well. And so, Charles, as usual,
refine,
unlock,
and take charge.
Mandate.
Your favorite genre of music?
I thought something else was gonna come up.
Favorite genre of music?
R&B, hip hop.
Nice. You know, if you were a boxer or fighter, what's your walking song?
My walking song. Oh, that's a tough one. Oh man. What? I don't know.
Okay. When they say if you're a boxer and the announcer's announcing your name, and he's going, David Liti all the way from
Southside.
Nice.
Buckland's the Mangere one.
Buckland's Road.
Yeah, Buckland's Road, yeah.
Favorite feat? Oh, sorry.
No.
Favorite feed after a comp. What are you gonna? What's the feed you're gonna have after you win gold?
In Paris, probably a croissant. Like probably 20 of them.
Yeah.
So I don't like after that competition or like heavy lifting, I lose my appetite. Yeah, I don't know why. But since we're in Paris, bro, I'm gonna be a professional croissant eater.
I think when you're in Paris, you have to say croissant.
Croissant.
Nah, I don't know.
You been there?
I need to get there. My cousins living there.
Oh man. Oh, David, what is your favorite movie thus far?
My favorite all-time movie is what's that? I just forgot the name of it. It's I Walk to Remember.
Oh, with what's her name? Mandy Moore.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good movie.
He's judging you in his head, but
No, I wouldn't do
that's my mate's favorite movie too.
Yeah, that's
It's the first movie to
yeah.
make me cry
Oh.
ever. I was watching it. I was like, this movie is gonna be cool.
I gotta go
And
watch
then
it.
That's a good movie. That's a good movie.
If you weren't lifting a bar, what would you lift? This is a serious
You're
question.
Yeah, because what pole are you lifting?
BBL jersey.
What would you rather lift? Would you rather lift?
Tricky, bro.
What? Okay, we'll change it. Who's your Rushmore of sporting heroes? So,
What's a Rushmore?
your top 4.
My top 4. John Olomu. Valerie Adams. David Tua. And Connie.
Are you serious?
No.
Your favorite NRL team?
My favorite NRL team. Afterwards?
Hey.
I don't even watch rugby league.
Afterwards?
Your favorite position when weightlifting? Say yeah, they're finished. They laughing.
Probably in the jerk position.
Hey, I thought you said afterwards.
Sweet. Let's cut that up. Final question, bro. When you win gold medal, man, and you're going home, you're taking off all your clothes. And after you have your shower, what are you wearing, bro? Are you wearing triangle undies or boxers?
Straight boxes, bro. Ooh. Big Mac style.
Boom! My God. So, Toko.
Nah, nothing.
I was going to ask you what you're doing it for an hour.
Oh, that's the other part of the story.
Oh, you gotta come back. We need this X-rated interview.
Wow,